Acoustic search activated. Smoke screen set. Generator started. Smoke screen set. Smoke generator started. Smoke screen set. Smoke screen set. Smoke generator started. All stations requesting fire support. Smoke screen set. Smoke generator started. enemy battleship. Nice work.
Hey, what's going on, fellow captains? It's Muse. So, spent a lot of my time and resources on cruisers and carriers, and that means my DDs, unfortunately, and my battleships lag way behind. I decided recently I want to get the daring, so that means grinding out my British DD line. So the game footage is going to be featuring the Icarus, but I'm running a build that is kind of very cruiser oriented. It's a very support utility build, and we're going to get into how it works and and why I like this build on my British DDs. So first we're going to take a look at the mods, which are pretty standard. We have main battery mod 2 for traverse, and then we're going to have the steering gears mod 2 for the rudder. And then as you can see, we have 7 smokes and 4 sonars. We're running fully packed, so they actually have a faster cooldown. 40 seconds of smoke, and it's back up in a minute, so literally 20 seconds without smoke. And then the sonar is going to be long duration. Cooldown is just under a minute and a half. Survivability, artillery, those are all going to be fairly stock. The torpedoes are going to be fairly stock. We did put a little bit into AA because it's so weak. We wanted to give it a little more range than what it had. The keys to this build are going to be the consumables and the agility, maneuverability. So when we get over here to maneuverability, 37.6 knots and a 2-3 rudder. Like, that is gorgeous. This thing handles like a sports car, and then it has a ton of utility. Concealment's pretty standard, 5.4. Looking at the build, we have the nade shot guys on here, but checking it out, we actually have John Jellicoe, the generic British commander. And the reason for that is fully packed. The downside to this build is you're going to lose RF. The way I play it, I don't really need RF, so it's okay. First slot, we have no fly zone. Like I said, we want to help that AA out a little bit. Look at me now, which we'd have on a DD commander, so we'll take it. And then we have Volusius for the speed. That's what's giving us that 37.6, and our steering gears for the rudder combined with the module, and then fully packed for the consumables. Gives us faster cooldown, 1 charge of each. Then we have Swirsky and Bay as the inspirations. Add to that concealment. So let's go ahead and take a look at the featured battle here, and I'll explain to you how I kind of work with this. Alright, so here we go, dropping into the battle. It's going to be on shards. And how this build really kind of works is, again, you don't have the RF, so you kind of have to be a little savvy with other DDs. And the way I really play this build is a very, very support utility build. I tend to stick with my battleships and cruisers and support them. So if I get like a gunboat DD that charges me, I have the smoke and sonar. I have the fast smokes and sonar to deal with that. So like, go ahead and charge me. That's your mistake, because I'm just going to smoke up and sonar you, and that's going to be a wrap on you. And then if you get a DD that tends to play like further out, you just stick with your ships. You stick with your battleships. You stick with your cruisers.
Let's give them a hard
and
time.
eventually that DD is going to come in for them. And when he comes in for them, that is when you capitalize on that. Because you have the battleships and cruisers right there, you have tons of support guns. So you just push them at that point, and because they're going to be in close range, everyone's got good shots on them. So I kind of just let the other DDs feed themselves to me, rather than going out and chasing them. And then everything else I'm doing is supporting the battleships and cruisers that I'm working with, and you're going to see a lot of that in this. In the montage, there was a couple different clips of me giving battleships wills, smoking them up. You have the torps and guns for when you need to throw some DPM in there. Like, none of the games I'm going to feature are, like, super, you know, high damage, ridiculous, crazy good stuff. They're average games, and they're just playing this build to what it's good at. And what it's good at is supporting cruisers and supporting battleships.
It's a go!
And again, I let the DDs feed themselves to me. This particular battle, I didn't mess with this DD too much because the carrier immediately was on him and just stayed on him. So I figured those guys down at the Alpha Cap would eventually get shots on them, which they did. Carrier did a really good job of keeping spots on that DD. So that allows me to get the Bravo cap, and then we are going to turn and head over to Charlie and help out over there. Now, I initially, when this started, I pinged the 2 battleships that spawn mid with me. Go to the right side of Bravo. So we have a very strong contingent on that right side. I can see the Fushin wants no part of Bravo. He's getting out of there because of the carrier. I'm not worried about the carrier. I don't have a ton of AA, but I have those smokes. I have smoke all day long. 7 of them, again, they last 40 seconds, and then they're reloaded in 60. So I literally have 20 seconds without smoke if I start getting harassed. And then with the rudder and the speed, I can dodge pretty much whatever's thrown at me.
All stations reporting the position of a strategic
Really
target.
Interesting build to play. Very different from a lot of the way I play other DDs. And very much just supporting my team. Letting them get the damage, letting them get the hits, just giving them the tools they need, whether it be will, whether it be smoke, whether it be whatever they need, I have it for them. And then again, if a DD wants to come mess with them, I'm just going to push that DD because I know I have supporting guns to get shots on him. The first battle in that montage earlier, you can kind of see better how I deal with DDs. This one, I don't deal with any DDs. But if you go back and look at that, you can see I actually deal with some DDs in that montage. And that's how I do it. I let them feed themselves to me. I don't go chasing them. I don't go, you know, running them down with RF. I let them come to me. So here we just throw torps through that gap, hoping Talon's going to hit the brakes, which he does. Unfortunately, he hit him a little sooner than I thought, so he's only going to take 1 of these torps, I believe. And then he does radar me, but looking at the map, nobody has shots on me, so I'm not too worried about it. That does, unfortunately, tell the carrier where I am, and I'm going to get a little bit of harassment from the carrier here. So I know I'm radared, but it's a Russian radar, so it's very short duration. I wasn't too worried about it because nobody had shots on me at that moment. And then the carrier does get a spot on me here. I want to get around this corner before the Talon comes out. Which I almost make it, but not quite. But again, we have that speed and that fast rudder, so we're going to take advantage of that. I can see I'm spotted by the Talon. I know he's right behind me. Throw smoke just to break the spot. He does get 1 nice little whack in there. But he exposes himself to get that shot, and he's going to get cleaned up for it. I'm going to take a little pot shot as I go around the corner. And yeah, he had to expose himself to get that spot, so he took himself off the board. Going after me. And you can see we popped that smoke, but we're already within 35 seconds of having our next one. Like, it's just so fast cycling with that fully packed on there. Now, this is what I'm talking about, it is a very support utility build. I'm literally going to lead a pack of battleships into this cap. So we're gonna start out, this guy over here is pretty tore up, pretty beat up. We put torps on Nicey. We're gonna end up with a dev strike off of that, but we're gonna come back around. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't getting smacked while I was spotted by this carrier. Once the carrier's down, we're gonna turn around and give that guy some will. He's definitely hurting. We want to save our ships if you can, and you're going to see he actually ends up fairly healthy. There's the big dev strike on Nicey, get him out of there. Now I'm going to come back, give this guy will. And then we're just going to start dropping a smoke train and leading these guys into Charlie. I'm going to try to stay close to this battleship just to keep will on him. Their DD is out of the game, so I am just a free piece on the board right now. So we're going to drop smoke if he wants it. Doesn't matter because we're going to have it back in 30 seconds anyway. And then we're just going to stay nice and close to him. Keep will on him. And you're going to see he heals up quite a bit. Got 2 other battleships coming behind. So my game plan is to let them catch up to this guy to where they can give him will. And then I'm free to go push ahead. About to have another smoke up here, so I'm gonna drop him another, and you're gonna see we're just dropping smoke after smoke after like, it's almost hard to use all 7 smokes by the end of a game. Same with the sonars, you have 4 of them. They're long duration, so it's really hard to go through all 4 sonars before the game's over. But the biggest advantage to that fully packed is the cooldown on the consumables, and that's not something you can really get off a DD commander. And because I'm working close with the cruisers and battleships, as you can see, like, I get even faster cooldown than what I normally would just out there by myself. So again, I lose the RF, but the way I'm playing the ship, I don't need RF. I'm just letting these come to me. And I know I have support, so the moment they get too close, I just go push them and let my support whack the hell out of them. It's pretty effective. Had quite a few good battles with this build already, and it is a very cruiser mentality kind of build. It's not your typical DD, you know, it's not centered around torps, it's not centered around hunting other DDs.
Concentrate fire
it's more supporting your team and letting your team get the big damage and do the numbers, and you're there for them, whatever they need. Whether it be, you know, spotting the DD that's coming after them, whether it be smoking them up, will to rebuild, refill station, whatever your team needs, that's what you're kind of doing with this build.
Smoke generator started.
As you can see, we drop another smoke and just leading these guys into the Charlie cap.
Smoke screen set.
Now, there was quite a few ships in Charlie Cap, and as you can see, they've been weeded out pretty good. This battleship behind me, that was like a sliver of health left, is actually fairly healthy now. On top of his will, I believe he's got a heal off. Knocks out the cruiser right there. So, we see the other guys are close enough to give him will, so we're just going to push through this cap. I can separate from him now. He doesn't need me for the will anymore. And now, I see that last spot on that carrier, and I see where his planes are coming from, so I feel like he's just sitting there, which he ends up being. So I'm just going to push through and get spots for these battleships on this carrier.
Battle ends in 5 minutes.
As you can see, our alpha side went down. They've pushed through over there. They're threatening the carrier, but the carrier's kind of smart. He's going to get out of there. And after we knock this carrier out, we're going to turn and head to that Bravo cap and just basically defend Bravo, and that's kind of where the game's going to end.
Smoke generator started.
almost like the
stations,
Pied
requesting
Piper
fire
playing this
support.
build. You just want to lead
Smoke
your
screen
people.
set.
Like, you definitely want to be out front. You want to be able to contest any DDs that are out in front of them. But you really want to let them do the work and just be the support. Obviously, like, when I can see nobody's got shots on me, I have no problem opening up with my guns. If this carrier wants to come after me, I have speed, I have a rudder. Let's go. Try to get me. And again, kind of the three things that are the bread and butter of this build are your speed, 37.6 knots, your rudder, 2.3 seconds side to side, which is pretty quick. It definitely has a sporty feel to it. And then your consumables, having, you know, the extra consumables and then that really quick reload on them.
Support the allied target.
Like, it's already good as it is if you have a normal DD build on the British DDs, but this build just makes it that much better. Like, literally only having to go 20 seconds without smoke and then having the rudder and the speed this thing does makes it a dream in carrier games. An absolute dream. Like, I've done the pan-European DDs, like, just for the AA on them, and the AA is nice, don't get me wrong. This thing has almost no AA, and it's just so easy in carrier. It's like literally easy mode in carrier matches, just because of the utility. So last two BBs left coming in from Alpha, heading to Bravo. Again, we're out front, getting spots, doing what we can. I'm gonna drop some smoke for these guys behind me. At that range, they might even be able to fire and not get spotted if they position right behind the smoke. I'm at 10 clicks, so I mean, they're a good at least 3-4 clicks behind me, if not more. And then we have nothing to lose. Like, there's no other DD in the game, there's no carrier. I'm pretty sure these battleships can handle it from here, so we just decide to put a YOLO on this Tennessee. And he does not have HE loaded, so he's going to be in a bit of trouble here. He's already in a bit of trouble. My guys are smacking the hell out of him. As you can see, he's got a full full line of blue battleships behind me just whacking on him. But we're going to come off this corner and we're just going to... We're going to give him that panic moment. And just, yeah, there we go. Just dropping the torp. Gets a big hit there with the AP.
Our victory is in sight.
And it just, like I said, it doesn't even matter at this point. Like, I know my guys can finish this up. So if he gets me, he gets me. If I get him, I get him. I get him. That's the end of that. Gonna turn to deal with the Caracello, but we're not even gonna get there. It's gonna end up pointed out. And you can see that all the guys that were on my side here are still alive. The rest of our team is dead. And the DD went down early, so it wasn't even like they died to torps. Not quite sure what went on that Alpha side, but it was fairly evenly matched on both sides. And yeah, the game's gonna end here. Like I said, not anything super amazing. Just a very different build if you're interested in running a support utility kind of thing. That's all I have for you. I appreciate you, captains. I'll catch you next time. Bye.